Let's Talk Stroke. And I have, as everybody knows, just an incredible guest again, Delanie Stephenson, and we're going to talk about relationships and we're going to talk about communication. So why don't we just go ahead and get started? Let's see here. Where is Delanie? Where are you? Can you? Well, I'm not sure what happened there. Can you see? There we are. Hee-haw! There we go. There we go. And there is Delanie, everybody. So good to see you, Delanie. Let's see, make sure.
TJ.
Hey. Can you see the comments and make sure that all is going and going?
Yes, I can. Absolutely. Hi, Teresa. This is so cool because I've never seen the comments. So this is
I'm glad
exciting for me.
Yes.
Hi, y'all. California. I'm talking to y'all from Virginia.
Virginia, yeah. Isn't that where Lena Price is from? Good morning, Tanya. Look at them all. I just love to say hello to them all before we all. Yes, Susan, nice to see you.
Everybody had a good holiday.
Awesome. How was yours, Delanie?
It was good. It was quiet, because of COVID and everything. We stayed home. Kids opened the presents in like 15 minutes, and they were like, "That's it," typical teenagers. But it was it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Of course, they were
COVID. Really...
Yeah, the COVID is just crazy, and if I hear I'm bored one more time, I'm gonna scream.
I know. I agree. I agree.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've got two teenagers.
Yes, a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old, and they are, full on teenagers. There's no doubt, no doubt at all. The good thing is I know what they're doing all the time, but they are eating me out of house and home.
I can't imagine. That's one thing I don't want to say I do miss, because it's 4 kids, teenagers. It's expensive nowadays. So they have to deal with it. But yeah. So it's great that we're talking about this, because a lot of people don't talk about relationships or the communication. Because as we talk, you've got some great knowledge of this. Thinking about it, it's just incredible. I think we all need to understand there are ways around it.
Right. I know. Well, as you know, I love to talk. I could talk to a brick wall if I had to, if it would talk back. Well, it'll listen, but it won't talk back. But I was a teacher for 11 years before my stroke. So high school students, whether they wanted to or not, had to listen to me, and my husband had to listen to me rant about everything when I got home. And the communication was always a big part of my life. Whenever I had the stroke back in 2012, all of a sudden, bam, that was just taken away. And overnight, I just wasn't able to speak. And that was like a prison sentence to me, because that was who I was. That's how I did. I felt, my fears, my thoughts, my emotions, everything was by speaking. And to not be able to do that was awful. And whenever I was lying in that hospital bed, just listening to our family talk around me, it was just like I was a spectator watching everybody live their life. And to not be
Yeah,
able to contribute, that was just probably the worst part of the stroke for me personally.
yeah. I'm with
Everybody has
you. Yeah,
everybody has their own, situation and their own thing on, but I just to not be able to tell somebody I'm scared, I'm afraid, am I gonna die? Am I gonna be able to walk again? Will I be able to see my kids again? And not be able to voice all these fears and thoughts to anybody. I mean, just being trapped in your body with your own thoughts and fears, and you're constantly thinking them over and over again. It just was awful. And I was just telling you before the show, my husband, he always thought I had a blubber mouth. He actually, before the stroke, wanted me to sometimes, hey, Delanie, would you please just shut up? You have talked enough. I've heard enough of whatever's going on. Can you just take a break? Blabber
right.
mouth. So whenever I couldn't talk, at first enjoyed it. He could, be the one that could head off the conversation, could tell me, this is what I think, and this is my opinion. He could take the lead for a change. But
Yeah,
after a while, he was like, he missed my input. He missed, you know, the old Delanie. And
yeah,
after I was able to get my voice back a little, it was him who was the blabbermouth, and I was trying to keep with him because I couldn't form my words as fast. And I was like telling him, "All right, would you please shut up? I've had enough. It hurts for me to talk. I can't you." But we
right.
learned very quickly after I got home that communication was extremely important because, as you and maybe all know, with aphasia, many stroke survivors deal with, it's harder for us, especially at first, to form our words, to come up with the words. And although it gets easier as you go along, still to have a conversation like this, it takes a lot of mental concentration that beforehand, and it was just like second nature. It wouldn't have taken thought, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I keep thinking back with me the same as you. I was like you really put it in great perspective. Um, I felt like a spectator because I had tons of people in my room, and I think it could have been before I could even say one word. It was probably 2 months, even just to spurt out something. And when I said something, it came out which I thought I was saying right. It was right, and it was totally wrong. And I could tell my wife looking at me. I knew I wasn't saying it the right way. But and even still to this day, 10 years later, I still like right now it's going pretty good. Sometimes it comes out all, I could hear Barb saying, I don't understand one thing you're saying, and I okay. It must not have been that important.
Right. And I know that, like, whenever I get tired or I get frustrated or if I'm angry and I'm trying to explain something, explain how I feel, then it comes like in my head, it's one way, but it comes out um, totally wrong. And so
Right.
sometimes it leads to an argument between my husband and I. And it's like he totally takes it not the way that I meant to say it, like, he misinterprets what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. 100%. I know it's funny when we talk to other stroke survivors that have aphasia, which in the beginning I think everybody, maybe not, but everybody
Oh,
that
I
I've run
know.
into does have it. And see, this really happens, as you know. I could talk and completely forget what I was saying, but hopefully it doesn't make sense. But you understand that it's such a big, aphasia is so cruel.
It is, and it's so weird. My sister, or if people out there don't know, my sister had a stroke about 10 months before I did. And
Yeah,
strokes with aphasia sometimes understand other stroke survivors with aphasia. It's almost like a little language in and of itself,
right.
because like whenever I first started talking, nobody really understood what I was saying, but she did, because she was still dealing with aphasia after her stroke,
Right.
or within the first year after her stroke. So she could kind of get what I was saying, but nobody else did. So she could come into my room in the hospital, and we could, like, without even saying too much, even now today, we'll be sitting there and just have like a 1 or 2 word conversation back and forth. And they're like, "Are y'all speaking secret language or something?" We're like, "No, we're just talking about the weather or whatever." And we totally, and no one else has a clue what's going on. It's
Yeah.
weird.
No, I understand. I totally understand. It's the same thing. And that's why I love talking to stroke survivors, because we all understand each other. We may confuse each other, but we really do understand each other. It's when we're talking to the public or someone, that's when they're looking at this thing. Well, either I'm retarded or I'm completely drunk or confused.
Right. And my grandmother, she had several strokes last fall, and she won't talk to hardly anybody, but she'll talk to me on the phone, because I understand, because she's our face really, really bad.
Oh,
And
really?
but I understand frustration it is for her to form the words. And I understand it, to give her the time, speak the words for her, let her form her thoughts, I get it, how to talk to her. Other people are trying to talk for her. And so she'll
Yeah.
actually talk to me, as opposed to she won't talk to other people on the phone.
Yeah.
But like you said, we'll talk to other stroke survivors sometimes when they want to others.
So true. I mean, that is so funny you say that, because stroke survivors they're awesome to talk to. And so do you, because I've always was taught through my speech therapy, is don't finish the sentence. For like, if I'm talking to you and I'm talking to you and totally get confused what I'm saying, do you answer for them? I don't, unless it really goes on and then we talk about it.
Right. I try. I know it's real easy to try to do that, but I try my hardest not to. Um, I know what that feels like, because it's like they're trying to put words into your mouth. To me, it feels like you're treating me like a kid if you're doing that.
Yeah.
I can come up with my own thoughts. Um, but I'm human. I sometimes don't do it all 100% of the time. But I think it's just a form of respect. Let the person form their own thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I totally understand that. Now, a lot of people probably don't know. There's a lot of new people here that do they know your story, in a nutshell? Because your story is pretty. I mean, I don't say it's great because I know the story, but it's an amazing story. Every stroke story is different. Do you mind a little bit?
Sure, I can tell it. Long story short, I my sister actually had a stroke in 2000 due to a surgery that was botched. And then um, I ironically had a stroke. There's no connection to the strokes. In about 10 in June of 2012, they think due to birth control pills, but they're not sure. It was a brainstem stroke, and I lost the ability to walk, talk, swallow. I was locked in. So basically, I moved my eyes, and that was it. Was in the hospital, rehab, all that for about 12 weeks. Slowly gained all back, and wound up home, and here I am. I hate putting a percentage on how much better I am, because I'm here. That's all I know. And I walk with a cane. What do you call it? Drop foot or foot drop?
Yeah.
I always get confused.
Same thing.
Yeah, whatever. I dragged my left foot pretty bad, which has led to a lot of falls, which has led to a lot of broken bones, and sprains and dislocated, this, that, and the other. I have written 2 books about my story, one for adults and one for kids. And I like to share my story, and I do a lot of writing, and that is like my therapy to help me get through. And I have a lot of like emotional issues, more emotional than physical, I guess you could say.
Yeah. As Serena said, first thing I said when we talked this morning, I said, your hair, badass. I love it. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I told my hairdresser before we're all done with this, I'm probably going to be bald. I'm a haircut like you, Jerry.
Sorry, Mike Peters. Now I know he asked this. You just mentioned something about mental health, because a lot of people don't talk about the emotional part of this stuff.
Right. And I was diagnosed with something called pseudobulbar effect. I know you and I have talked a little bit about this before. And some people call it emotional liability.
PBA.
Yes, PBA, back in 2013. And it's where I have emotional extremes where I laugh really, really hard, and I cry really, really hard. Usually at times that are very inappropriate, like church, funerals. I like laugh, like I'd have had to leave church. I've had to leave funerals. I had to just this past February, because usually those things you're crying, but whenever I get comfortable, I laugh. So you don't want to really be laughing at a funeral, because that's not really fair to the family, you know.
Yeah.
So I miss it. It puts you in very awkward situations. So I have missed a lot. Like my grandfather just died of COVID back in
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he died back in November, end of November, 1st of December. It was around Thanksgiving-ish. So I didn't go to his funeral, partly because of COVID, but partly because I knew I wouldn't. It was small, and I knew I wouldn't react in the right way.
Right.
It wasn't fair to the rest of the family for me to be cackling my head off, and and then, because that's the way I show my emotion, and I know that they would understand, but at the same time, I mean, come on now, got to be fair to people.
Yeah. Now, Tammy, you're asking what it is. I think we were talking about. I can't even say it. Pseudobulbar, whatever. PBA is what I call it, because I don't really know. But you say it.
Pseudobulbar. I believe I said it 20 million times. That's the reason why I can say it.
Yeah, and like you said, it's because I can't control the crying because that happens to me. I mean, watching anything, The Voice or whatever, I cry over just the littlest things. And I try to hold in that it does, but or you understand.
Yeah, and for some people, it's really really bad. Like first, right after the stroke, and then he gets the years go by.
Right.
For me, it's a bit better, if that makes sense, or not half as much. But the laughing seems to have gotten worse. If that makes sense.
Really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
happens a lot more, which is good
Right.
because we have to
Right.
stay home because of COVID. So we're home, so we're not out as much, and I don't want to embarrass my family as much.
Yeah. I know. I'm saying. Gosh, I mean, stroke is not for the weak. That's for sure. Um, and Modus Nova, who's this is Modus
That
Nova
is
is
spot
the
on.
show brought to you by. But yeah, yeah, mental health is so true. Mental health is so overlooked. I never did. You have because when I was in the hospital, no one talked to me about mental health. The only thing that ever happened to me is when I was in the hospital. This guy once a week came by and said, "Hey, do you have a mind to chat? Want me to?" And sure, why not? And didn't know what. I thought he was just a nice friend. For about a month, he kept going. Finally, I can focus in um, on who he was, and I could see he was a psychiatrist, just probably to make sure that I'm not all whacked out here. But other than that, no one talks about
Well, two things. One, I did a psychologist by a couple times in the early days, but I can't really talk. So I'm like, how am I supposed to talk about stuff if I can't talk? And second, the second thing is, I always say in therapy, they taught me how to rise up if I physically fell down, but they
it.
never told me what to do if I emotionally.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure a lot of you remember in therapy before you went home, if they would get you on the mat and put you down on the floor and get you on all fours and say, all right, if you fall, this is what you do to try to get you
yeah,
up.
right,
But they never mention if you're depressed, if you're suicidal, if you
right.
get really down, if you have nobody to talk to. These are the things you need to do. They never mention go speak to a therapist, talk to a psychiatrist if you think you might need help you out or whatever. And I mean, they're really good about making sure all the medical stuff is taken care of, but maybe it's changed in, the times we're in the hospital. I don't know, but whenever 10 years
Yeah,
ago for us, whenever we got out, I know they didn't.
yeah, and
My
this is
sorry they said that.
yeah, it's so true. And I don't know about like you just said, Delaney. Are there newbie stroke survivors out there that because I was 10 years, you were 12 years? No.
It'll be 9 in June.
Okay. So about the same time. Um, so all the newbie, I'm just using that word, stroke survivors. Is it more concentrated now on the mental health? I don't know if they are, but I'm I wish it did. Um, I wish they'd talk about it more because I was talking to Dr. Sullivan, Karen Sullivan, and she says she's really shocked that neurologists, when you have your stroke, the first thing they should do is get you to a neuropsychologist to help with your mental state. And
Right.
I was never. you know.
I will say I have seen a lot of stroke survivors themselves write articles or even books on mental health after or the emotional states after stroke, but I haven't
Right,
seen a lot of doctors, you know, say much about it.
right.
It's been the
And it,
stroke survivors themselves speak out.
yeah, that's true. And I can't wait. I have a doctor, my neurologist appointment today. First time I'm going to see a doctor beside since January. And I just want to see if he's going to say anything about the mental part of it. Because now I know a lot more than I did. Um, I know more about stroke now than when I had my stroke. Just because all this stuff that, like you and I are talking, and all these other stroke survivors. So I can't wait to. I'm going to ask him for a referral to a neuropsychologist. And what I just wonder, will he say, "Why do you need it?" I don't know.
I know that I was referred a couple times for a neuropsych evaluation where
Really?
they, yeah, I was, but the only reason why was because of my to get Social Security, to get disability, um, and they had to prove that I was disabled enough to not have to go back to my job. That was the
Right,
only
right,
reason why. It
right,
wasn't necessarily to check my emotional or anything like that.
right, right.
You're right, Tammy.
Yeah,
You're right, Tammy. And that's again, most stroke survivors learn about the emotional part on their own, and we're speaking
yeah,
out saying the mental health is important. You're not hearing it from doctors.
right, right. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I know you, me, everybody else. I mean, we all get emotional at this stroke stuff, and it's just amazing that I was never taught or made aware that the emotional part. I just thought that was me, that I had the issue with that, no one else.
I
But
have heard that people who have like open heart surgery or heart issues, that because I know my dad, when he, several 15, 16 years ago, he had open heart surgery, and that people that have major surgeries like that often go through a time of depression. And I have heard that, but I've heard not too much about, the depression and stroke.
right, right, interesting. Yeah. Um, so true. I just bring up some comments here, not to take away from everything, but
Okay.
I'm so glad that you um, were able to do this today, because it's a very big, important part of stroke, this emotional part. I don't think we've ever talked about it on the show. I mean, we've talked about like a little segment, but not, you know, what this whole show is about. It's about the emotional impact, communication.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to have stuff like this, because when you talk to other stroke survivors, like your friends, your family, they may not understand this side of stroke, and it's
Yeah,
important to be, like we were talking yesterday, the communication aspect, to be with them and let them know, hey, I am experiencing these feelings. I am depressed. I am down. I am experiencing the extremes and the crying and the laughing. Because they know how you're feeling. I mean, how are they? If they don't know, how are they to help you?
right,
You know,
right.
if they aren't um, the end. And if you don't
Yeah.
ask for help, you're not going to get the help.
Did you ask for help?
Um. Well, I didn't know I needed help at first, because I did and I didn't. It was more so my husband was just like giving me like a kick in the rear end, like, come on, Delaney, you need to. But
Frozen there. Um, I'll read this in just a second here, so Delaney pops back on. But yeah, is this Dr. Housley? I'm not sure you're the one commenting on this, but this, you know what? This really hits it the nail on the, you know what I meant, the nail on the head or whatever. The mental health, it does rehab, because there's so many times I didn't want to go to therapy just because, just like what you're saying, Dr. Housley, I believe, is doing this, but so true. So true. Thank you for
yes,
commenting. Don't you think so?
yes, and that was what I was saying, is that my husband had to give me a little kick in the rear, because it's so easy to get into those habits, I guess, of especially that first 6 months, a year or so that you get home, watching TV and, you know, sitting in that chair in the dark and while everybody is at school or work or whatever, and woe is me, my life is so. But then whatever, but that's what's so good about groups like this. You can get on here, you can find other people that are in the same situations.
Yes.
I started reading other survivor books and saw people who had strokes. It was encouraging. It got me writing again. You know, just, I mean, you got to just get up and get moving, go for walks, and you just can't just sit there. And sometimes it takes a little push or shove
Yes.
from your loved ones to get out there and get stuff done.
I'd get up there because I know I have your books and they are great books. I wish I had if you could actually type it in your because it's on Amazon. Your books are like Mommy Had a Stroke, or um, I yeah, gotta.
Well, I can type. Where do I type it at?
Do you have your phone? I mean, me typing is really not good. It would take me. It's on Amazon. Mommy
Yeah.
Had a Stroke. Oh, let's see, they're here.
I'll just type it into that.
Yeah, type in the
Oh, you're
chat your
fine. I
books
can do
and
it.
people can get.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and then people, because your books are really amazing, and for me they're easy to read, because I know a lot of stroke survivors. The reading, it's like speech therapy. The reading, the writing is a little difficult. Yeah, tell them take the. Yeah, yeah. I'm just reading. Yeah, this is yeah, it is. Oh, good. I can't walk. I've had a stroke. Yeah, those are great comments. Yeah, love this. Love this. But yeah, this is stroke is something. But boy, you just have to keep going. It's tough. Just it's easy to get yourself in that rut and just feel sorry for yourself. There it is. Okay, so mom had a stroke. It's a great book, and that's it. You can get it on Amazon. It's a great book. So I I would love everybody to get that book. I haven't. I've read it actually a couple times, and then there's another one too. And Tanya, thanks for being here. To my first day of physical therapy, you guys are so helpful and motivational for me. You know, Tanya, I hate to even ask, but how long ago did you have your stroke? And I'm glad that you're getting motivated, because that's what this is all about. The calm before the storm, a stroke survivor's story. Man, those are great books. I love The Calm Before the Storm. That's incredible. Um, you weren't hunched over the steering wheel, weren't
I
you?
mean, I was
Yeah.
actually my van. I was in the driveway and just getting all the trash out of my van, and I started feeling nauseous and all tingly and sweaty. And the odd thing is, I had put my cell phone in the front seat of in the passenger seat of my car, and I was before I lost my ability to speak. I knew there was something wrong, and I wasn't able to move my left side, and so I reached over to
Right.
the passenger side with my right hand and got the phone and called my husband, who was on his way home from work, and told him, "Hey, there's something wrong. Get your butt home ASAP." And if I hadn't have, he was a typical man on his way home from work, going here, there, and everywhere, except for home. But
Yeah.
he luckily that got him to come straight home, and then we went straight to the hospital. But if I hadn't got him on the phone that day, I mean, I could have, I got to the hospital, got TPA, which did cause more bleeding. But anyways, that's another story. But if I hadn't got to the hospital in time, then I
Yeah.
wouldn't be here. So
Yeah. I remember that, reading the book, how you're cleaning out the van. The kids were, because at that time your kids were not teenage. They were 5, wait, 6. How old were they?
I think they were 4 and 6 at the time,
Yeah, I mean, that's a
and they were
tough
in the front yard.
one. Yeah, that's just incredible what you went through, and but you have great family support, and that probably helped your emotional part a lot. Like me, that helped a lot, even though still I was.
That's an article I have been wanting to write, and I still need to write. The fact that I am so glad I had my stroke before COVID, because I cannot imagine having because I had somebody with me every night in the hospital, the entire 12 weeks. There was someone spent the night with me every night there with me every day. Someone was with me all the time in therapy. And with their support meant, I mean, the world to me. And to be in the hospital with on nursing or not even, not being able to see my kids. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine people having to be there by themselves.
I could not imagine either. That's just terrible, because I had tons of people there. I think my wife spent the night every night, for the most part, and my grandkids. I know this COVID really put a monkey wrench in everything. So Mark's asking you a question.
Blood thinners before my stroke. Because I didn't have any history of blood clots or anything, but after the stroke, they put me on 1 milligrams or baby aspirin. And then I had a shoulder replacement surgery due to a fall back in 2018. I had a pulmonary embolism because of the surgery. So big clot because of that today. So now I'm on aspirin and apparently my blood just like clot. They don't know why.
Yeah, so you're on just a baby aspirin, but so you're not on. So it really was an ischemic stroke because the blood thinner, right? So no, you're not on Keppra or anything like that.
No, I'm on aspirin and Eliquis. I don't know how to describe it, but they think the birth control caused the blood clot which was the ischemic stroke to my brain. I was given TPA, which it stopped the blood clot, but then it caused bleeding on the other side of my brain stem, which I guess you could say was which was hemorrhaging on the other side, which caused the total locked in syndrome. So I technically gained everything back, but once bleeding from the TPA started, I lost everything.
Yeah. No, I understand. It's funny. Mike, this is actually funny.
My goodness, you had it all.
I mean, heart attack, stroke, sepsis, diabetes, now a bloody pandemic to try and finish me off. I mean, not laughing, but it's funny.
Stop trying to outdo everybody.
Yeah. Gosh, Mike. So funny. Yep. And oh, hello. Yeah, I see. Thank you. And Yvonne, nice to see you. She's from Athens, Greece. Thought I'd throw that out there for you.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. And I don't know what time it is there, but it's got to be nighttime. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is it's funny. I love this. Everybody communicating with each other, saying hello. It's nice for the everybody to say hi to each other. It's just that makes me happy because stroke survivors. Yeah, and Mike Peters lives in South Wales, United Kingdom, and I believe his wife is a priest or something like that, right, Mike? But pretty cool. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. So so this has been good. Delanie, I'm glad we got to talk about the emotional impact of this. Hey, it says Kevin, but his name, he goes by Joel. Great guy, absolutely. Joel, nice to see you. But what other thing you can kind of help other stroke survivors out there, even the caregivers, because this emotional impact that we go through. I think I don't want to put not too much weight what do you call on caregivers, but we as stroke survivors know that battle that we go through all the time. Those thoughts come in and they really, put a lot of weight on us.
Well, we go through a lot, and we have to remember to read our minds. We got to be open. I know I've said this before, but just what we're going through. Tell them how we're feeling. If we're anxious, something they don't know it. We got to tell them. Be as honest as possible. Have a communication, whether it's with your significant other, your family, your friends. If you want them to understand you, tell them. I've tried to be as open as I'm probably too honest with people as possible, but I just want them to get where I'm coming from. And we've got to understand that at the same time, while we've got a lot on our plates, caregivers do too, because they've got in the normal world, there's a lot of crap, but then they've got all the stress of the normal world, plus I don't say that we're a big burden, but
well, kind
of. We are, whether we like it or not, I mean, people worried about us having another stroke, about us falling, about us, something medically happening to us, worried about us, COVID, that type of thing. So we cut them a little bit of slack. I know sometimes my husband, I'm like, good gracious, I mean, I'm like, why are you always watching me like a hawk? Why are you always telling me what to do?
Yes.
But I got to realize that he's on pin needles like all the time because he's got to worry about the house, worry about the kids, worry about me, and he never worries about himself. Right. So, I mean, we got it. So we need to be honest with them. They need to be honest with us, and we just need to just not expect but so much, I guess, out of each other, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, yes, exactly. So Mike Peters, yeah, she is a priest and won't take. So you both can go to. It's funny.
That's the best.
And Nancy, great
That's
comment.
what I'm for.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor guy.
We watched it on
I
TV.
totally
Yeah, and you see Nancy's comment, right?
love
Thank you, Nancy.
you,
Great comment.
Nancy.
Your good friend.
Yes, this is my friend.
Yes, it's so nice. Bring up some comments here. Yeah, let's see here.
Sweet, is Tom doing better? How's he feeling?
What's that? Let's see. Modus
Oh, it's
Nova.
just asking Tom was there.
Yeah. So many of us raise the idea that expressing our discomfort or pain is something we should avoid doing, which leads to, yeah, constant miscommunication. So important to share and explain how you feel.
Yeah,
Then you guys really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that is the leading cause of arguments in the Stevenson household is miscommunication or communicating at all.
Yes. Or when it comes out, that comes out the wrong way. Or for me, if I'm speaking and it comes out, I'm thinking, crap, why did I say that? I knew I shouldn't have said that. Does that happen to you? I mean, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this causes a war.
Exactly. Or you think it sounds really good in your head, and then whenever it comes out of the mouth, you're like, it doesn't sound as good as it did in my head.
So true. Oh my God.
It's good to say stuff on a platform like this because you're like, well, at least I'm not the only one.
Yeah, that's so true. Oh, this is amazing. It's but yeah, we're kind of close to the end. I just wanted to bring up these comments, and if there's any yeses or carry, we all, yeah, that's true. Salute. I know it. Oh, I know. And then Mike Peters, I don't know if I told you in the beginning before we were on it. I told I said I know Mike's going to talk about me coughing, and there he is. 3 coughs today, Jerry. Oh my God. Oh, Mike, you're a crack up. But yeah, Lynette, I love it. Yeah, that's true. We don't give up, even with this emotional battle we play in our head so many times. Just, I know it weighs on me, but yeah, it's so true. But my wife thinks that I do that all the time. I don't ask her for help. I just ask. I mean, can you get my pills? Get this? And then she gets on to me saying, "What? You have 2 legs. You can get there, but you better wear your AFO. You're not going." She just says, "I'm not going to the hospital with you. If you fall, break your hip again, you're going to the hospital by yourself. I'm not going." So, oh my gosh.
That's what when my husband says, I'm going to go do it because I don't want you to go to the hospital. Or he says, I don't want to have to wind up going to the hospital.
Yeah. Hey, okay, Mark, you're right. No filter. I know I don't. This is probably the only time we do these shows that my filter's trying to keep back because I know some. Yeah. So, yeah.
But sometimes having no filter can be fun.
That's true. It is kind of fun. And I believe Dr. Housley, if you're doing this, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And okay. Yeah, there's so many. I don't know if you want to see it now, Delanie Stephenson. Yes. Family. And now Delanie. So nice. You guys are awesome. I swear. This is pretty. It's so nice to see you all here. Mia says the same thing. Okay. That's good. Okay. Well, let's see. What did your last slave die from, Jerry? My last slave. I'm sorry that I don't even know what that means. Okay, I think it got me. Okay, duh. Yeah, but,
What are you doing in his sleep, Jerry?
yeah, hey, I'm coming up. Well, in October, this year goes by fast. I'll be 38 years married, so
Whoa.
absolutely incredible. And I'm so glad that. Thank you, Salute. Glad it was a good discussion. But
Thank you.
okay, now she's asking about. I'm with Barb. I tell Tom the same thing. I'm not going to the hospital. Yeah, I know. And right, man, so important to ask for help. That's true, but now, but you do you feel bad asking for help all the time, or not all the time? Because we can do a little more than you know than we couldn't prior. I don't know.
That's right, Nancy.
Yeah. Oh,
Nancy got
Alessandra.
married. Did
Okay.
you see Nancy's comment?
Let's see. Well, thank you for clearing that up, Alessandra. Nancy, let's see. I got married in a rehab hospital. Wow, what a stud. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I've seen pictures and everything. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, well, that's amazing. I'm for the last ones. Yeah, 38 years. Well, thank you, Alessandra. Yeah, I mean, you have your ups and downs. I'm surprised the stroke didn't put us different ends of the world here. You know. Oh, Mike. Okay, thanks for. Oh, you know what? My mask. These masks here that I had made. I actually ordered more, and they are not here yet. The lady who did this, or she moved her business, so I have your address, and I will be sending you one. So thank you for reminding me. So
Yeah. Alexandra was the person.
yes.
I was just gonna say I was a history teacher.
Wow.
Very good.
Wow. Biomechanical engineering student at Georgia Tech.
You're smarter than I was.
Oh, it's funny. I majored in aeronautical engineering. I thought I was smart, but looking at
you are.
I used to be. Not really. I really. Oh gosh. Well, so yeah. Anyway, I'm so happy that you guys are here making comments, and wow, it is so nice to have you, Delanie. This is so nice to have you on the show. And
well, thank you for letting me be here. I've really enjoyed this.
Wow, yeah, and it was fun. It was funny. So once again, I will. You guys reach out and these comments and look for Delanie's books actually. Calm Before the Storm on Amazon, and the other Mom Had a Stroke. Seriously, they're great books. I have them behind me here, and I should have brought them up.
Oh, you're fine.
Wow, we're smart, Delanie.
Right, new.
Yeah,
we learned something.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Hey, why don't you turn?
Yeah,
I wish he was here.
Same here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Rocky time for me. Yeah, I think it is. I have that it's a long story there. Okay, Yvonne.
That's me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm so glad that it is good to get caught up with Delanie. She's just a stud.
Thank you, Serena.
Laughing at the wrong times. So I always like to say thank you again for everybody that's been here and commenting. And Alessandra, God, I hope I'm not butchering your name, but oh well. I'm glad you got. Sorry, that didn't come out right, but really, I like to always say, because I guess I can say it. This show was brought to you by Florida Nova.
You want some more, man?
So yeah, things come out wrong. So all right, Serena, and everybody else, have a great day. You too, Delanie. We'll be chatting as usual. See you guys.